We have an update on the WWE Netflix deal, plus William Regal makes his WWE TV return, and is Okada really joining NXT? Like, really? It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. What a day for news it was yesterday, Jack the Jobber.
I'm still recovering from the seismic news that wave upon wave of seismic news that we experienced
Wave
yesterday.
after wave.
But we do have
wave
updates.
after wave.
Lovely.
Mr. Probs.
But we do have some updates now.
Yeah, so as we know, yesterday, WWE and Netflix, a $2 billion deal that starts out at 10 years, could be 5, could be 20, depending on how it all goes. The Wrestling Observer reporting that, according to those with knowledge of the deal, Netflix has been the deal that WWE wanted. But they have had recent talks with Disney for FX, with Amazon Prime, who they believe to be the favourites for a while, many analysts, and also with WBD.
That's where the AEW lives.
That's where the AEW lives. They must have done it while they were out getting milk.
Yes, possibly. That would have thrown a cat amongst the pigeons if this deal hasn't enough already.
At this point, the future of the WWE network itself, with the archive programming, is uncertain. The PLEs are the main draw of the network, which exists on Peacock in the US. Of course, here in the UK and in other markets, the network is a standalone. And I know that there's quite a few people that live around the world who have VPNs for the specific reason of using the network that we have access to.
Right, I see.
WWE at this point has not confirmed whether Netflix will be the exclusive distributor of the archive programming in those countries, and when current deals expires in the US and Canada. It was also announced yesterday in their Q4 earnings call that Netflix are on a bit of a tear with 13.1 million subscribers quarter on quarter, and they added the news of this WWE deal into the investor call, didn't they?
Okay, yes. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, commented on the deal saying, "We are thrilled to bring live WWE programming to our members around the world. WWE Raw is sports entertainment, which is right in the sweet spot of our sports business, which is the drama of sport," which is true because they've got those documentaries like most famously Drive to Survive, the F1 documentary that was so popular that it actually boosted the popularity of the sport of Formula One itself. So what could it mean for wrestling potentially? Anyway, he also goes on to say, "We believe that WWE has historically been under-distributed outside of North America, and this is a global deal, so we can help them. They can help us build the fandom around the world. This should also add fuel to our new and growing ad business." That sounds very much in line with what Triple H's mission statement's always been: global localization, trying to expand WWE's reach around the world and that sort of stuff.
And Netflix kind of is parallel to them in that sense.
Yes, absolutely.
When asked if WWE was separated from the $17 billion of spending that Netflix is doing on programming, Sarandos said it was something that fits in with that spending. And he compared WWE to a sort of inverse Formula One.
I mentioned it too early.
You mentioned it there, but it's true in the sense that he goes on to say the events itself are the storytelling in WWE, and this is a proven formula for us. We are excited to jump into. This is sports entertainment, very close to our core, and the deal is long term. We are super excited about it.
I think I get what he means, because I think the reason that Formula One documentary or docu-series is so popular is because it really highlights, and some fans will say embellishes slightly, the drama and the storylines that naturally arise through sporting competition. Whereas in this case, he's saying those storylines are already there, and now we need to bring the action that follows. I think he understands wrestling by the sounds of it.
It sounds like he does.
Yeah.
The big question is Raw going to stay on Monday nights? Well, there's only really one man who's got the answer to that, isn't it, Jack?
Yes, Pat McAfee. Nick Khan, who Pat McAfee asked about this on his show yesterday, saying, "At this moment in time, it remains Monday Night Raw. But keep in mind, we have 10 and a half months before this Netflix deal is up and running. We're looking at what you're looking at and what everyone else is looking at. If it stays on Mondays, it'll work. If we move to a different day, we think it would work then too."
Nick Khan's always been very transparent in the sense that if Raw moves to a Monday, a Tuesday, a Sunday, a Friday, if it's 2 hours, 4 hours, 9 hours, 8 hours, then it's whatever's best for business.
Yeah.
I do wonder whether moving to this Netflix model means that they're at a point where they can make Raw 2 hours again.
Oh, that would be More digestible, certainly. Yeah,
potentially. But in terms of what day it falls on, it's yet to be seen. But in terms of whether or not Raw as a program will change, here's an interesting tidbit that comes from Alex Sherman from CNBC. He says, for Netflix subscribers that don't get ads, Raw matches will be scripted around commercial breaks. So you'll get some non-important match action, sustained headlocks instead of commercials, and you won't get ads. I'm not sure which I prefer.
So this is for, I'm assuming in some regions, Netflix has ads in the middle of shows.
Yeah, so it's something they're rolling out worldwide over time, in the sense that there'll be like a lower tier where you can have adverts between the shows.
Yuck.
So it's like old telly, but new telly.
Turned into Tony Storm there. It disgusted me so much. Oh,
yuck. This is a massive deal that WWE and Netflix are undertaking. Over the last 20 hours or so, I've been chatting to guys from Fightful. I've been chatting to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. I've also been chatting with Brian Keniston, who is OVW's lead announcer and very much an important figure behind the scenes, to ask about his experience with Netflix. I've been chatting to people from Slash Film about how this could affect the greater cable landscape, away from just wrestling. And I've had a chat with Hooked on Wrestling, who say that this new model will effectively kill off what they do.
Right.
And all of that will be in a podcast special on the Cultaholic Wrestling News podcast feed in a few hours from now. So if you do want to have a deep dive with me and hear some really interesting talking heads on this subject, you can join myself and Aidan Gibbons from Cultaholic.com on the podcast feed a little later on this morning.
Oh, it sounds very interesting.
It's been a really busy 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's had some lovely conversations. And in amongst all of that news, some normal wrestling news.
Yes.
William Regal's back!
Hey, on our television screens. Last night on NXT, we saw William Regal make his first appearance on WWE TV since his release back in January 2022. Then, of course, he went to AEW. Now he's back in WWE. After a brief stint in AEW, he returned with the blessing of Tony Khan and assumed an off-screen role as the Vice President of Global Talent Development. But the stipulation around his early release from AEW was that apparently he wouldn't appear on WWE TV until the expiration date of his original AEW contract, which, as you can tell from last night, has now passed.
Now, the reason he was there was almost drowned out by cheers and Regal chants, which was hilarious. So Regal was there to welcome in the youngest general manager in WWE history, the new general manager of NXT, Ava.
Yes, Ava Raine, or as Matthew calls her, Ava Raine, in like an Australian accent for some reason.
Oh, he's just doing his own thing, bless his face.
Yes, Ava is the former, manager slash sometimes very occasional wrestler in The Schism, but now she seems to have segued into this authority figure role, but also is kind of a babyface now as well. She went from evil spooky lady to just, now she wants to be fair and do everything that's right.
They've kind of teased us a little bit, if I'm right in thinking, like she's played a sort of liaison thing backstage.
She's been assistant to the regional Heartbreak Kid, yes.
Yeah, so this has led to this today.
Yeah, and she was officially confirmed, as you say, as the youngest general manager in WWE history.
Interesting decision.
Interesting timing. No, I think they were already planning this for her. As you say, the seeds were laying before her dad was on the board of the parent company. But no.
I mean, admittedly, it is hilarious.
Yeah.
When you look at it, it's like the idea that, oh, your dad's on the board of directors, now suddenly you're general manager.
No,
the new McMahons are the Mayavias.
Oh, wow. No, excuse me. No, I think that, as you say, the seeds were already sown. I'm not sure if it's got much to do with that. However, it'll be interesting to see how often, now that she's the full-time general manager, how often we see Shawn Michaels on our screens or how often we see William Regal on our screens. Because as you say, this date has expired, or as I said, this date has expired. And will this just be like an occasional thing where he drops in, or will he manage somebody? Or
it did feel like it was just a pop in and pop out again. His role is very much off screen. It felt like he was, now that he's sort of clear to pop up on TV, it was just chance to put to give the rub, if you will, to Ava, who is taking on the role that he worked so beautifully in.
I'd like to see him, and I don't think it's too unlikely either, but do you remember when in the Attitude Era when like things would get too hectic and Linda McMahon would have to come in and then you knew it was getting sorted out?
Oh, yeah.
If he's like that, especially around War Games time, that would be a pretty good role for Regal.
You have to call William Regal.
Yes.
It's the new Roman Reigns phone call. The Johnsons continue their wild takeover of WWE with Ava as general manager of NXT.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of NXT, It is. So this this Rainmaker caused us some painmaker yesterday. There was a report that came from Monthly Pure Resu that suggested that Okada, as opposed to joining AEW, as a lot of the optics point towards, is actually joining WWE, and in a surprise, would be beginning his WWE journey on NXT. This did the rounds very quickly. A lot of people going, what?
Yeah.
What? No. What?
There was instant outrage and confusion and hilarity at the thought of Kazuchika Okada, widely regarded as, when he retires, he's going to be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Oh, and if you haven't used that picture of Okada crying behind us, then you haven't done your job properly. Thank you.
There was widespread reaction on social media instantly to the thought of him being in Chase U, being in Tony D'Angelo's family. Hey, Kazuchika Okada!
It's my cousin, yes! Kazuchika Okada!
It's Kaz!
It's Kaz!
But
actually, I'm all in now. I want that.
Yeah, I want it as well. But as you say, this was reported by Monthly Pure Resu, who said it was shared. The information was shared with them by a top-end New Japan source. But other news outlets now have come out and given maybe shed a bit more light on the situation.
Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer says those close to Okada had no idea of the situation. Okada had told a few friends this past week he's not made a decision, and those in WWE had not heard of any such deal.
Fightful Select say one WWE higher up said that will be news to us at this point, and multiple sources on the NXT staff said they've heard nothing of the sort at this point. In addition, numerous people that Fightful has talked to, within AEW, believe that they are very much in the running to land Kazuchika Okada.
Despite the rumor killer, Dijak from NXT had some thoughts on the matter on Twitter. He put, I don't give the slightest SH1T about wrestling Okada unless he's NXT champion. So you can take your fantasy booking nonsense and F yourself.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What a worker.
Who upset Dijak?
Yeah.
Honestly, who comes to work being that grumpy?
Dijak historically gets quite riled up about strange things. I remember him getting in an argument about Kenny Omega once, about 5-star matches and stuff.
Flipping wrestlers turning up in a bad mood for no reason.
I'd be in a bad mood if I was Dijak, who has been stuck in the same feud for a long time and is a fantastic wrestler and probably deserves more than one opponent over the course of this stage of his career.
Maybe one if he's lucky. But what about Okada in the Rumble?
Apparently not. Dave Meltzer says it was also noted that it would have been impossible for Okada to be in the Royal Rumble since his New Japan contract doesn't expire until the 31st of Jan.
It's my birthday!
Hey. And he's working all the New Japan dates until the end of the month, and then 3 more February dates before he would be starting anywhere. So we're not going to hear the little. That would be an awesome sting start of the entrance music for the ching, like the little coin drop, clink, and then his music kicks in. But it doesn't seem like we're going to get that moment.
Rumble, he might not be entering the Rumble, but it does mean he's free for my birthday party.
Yeah.
Hooray! A Royal Rumble watch party taking place this Saturday. Hooked on Wrestling and Cultaholic at Box Park in Wembley. There's like at the time we record this, there's like 4 tickets for general admission. 2,500 people that place sits. It might be gone by this point, but HO Wrestling UK on Twitter if you want to be a part of it, and if you fancy taking part on stage and playing the Cultaholic Wrestling quiz and winning this. Look at that! Isn't that lovely? Could be yours. Plus, the legendary Fred Ottman is in the house. Typhoon Tugboat, the Shock Master, is with us as well. I'm going to put that there. At HO Wrestling UK on Twitter for the final few tickets. Are you twitching tonight?
I am twitching tonight. Myself and Owen Mawson will be taking the helm of South Shields FC once again on Football Manager, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Last time, our form is inconsistent, but we're going along with it. We're going to try our best.
Give it the old college try.
We'll have to go along with it
with the lads, with the Mariners.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic at 6 p.m. GMT. And for the latest wrestling news throughout a very busy wrestling week, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.